It's Monday for me. Fuck. It's Monday for me, and that just means that it's, the first day of the week for me. A lot of people feel like Sunday is the first day of the week, but, I don't think that it is, because it's the seventh day as per God or Jesus or whoever. I don't really believe in that. I just believe in science, as you may have learned in my video the other night. People are questioning my sanity, and so am I. So am I. And it's not the first time you're going to see me lose my shit in the middle of a street. This is just the beginning. It was a good time. I do feel guilty about yelling at that guy. He complimented my Yeezys, and I yelled at him. So I feel pretty bad about that. And then also that guy asked me, how far is the moon from the sun? He was a nice guy. He was just driving Uber, doing his thing. I yelled at him too. But that's just collateral damage, and sometimes that happens. I hope that it made you guys laugh. If you haven't checked it out, it's on my Instagram. But yeah, it's Monday, the first day of the week. That's the way I'm feeling right now. And it is raining. Just a little bit though. It's crazy too, because I've really only experienced this in New York, where the radar won't say it's going to rain at all, and it'll start raining. The other day I was on the roof with some friends, and you could see the rain kind of downtown, probably 14, 15 blocks away. And then it came closer and closer, and then you could just see the wall of rain in front of you. And that was it. You could just see it was just hovering there. Probably, 10 feet from us. We could see the rain, but it wasn't coming to us. And then it stopped for a second, and then it doused us. We were totally unprepared. We had no umbrellas. We were completely covered. All of our electronics were done for. And it's sad. Speaking of electronics, I don't know if I've talked about this, but I'm in notification overload. It's wearing on me so bad I can feel it. I think I'm going to break my phone in half. I posted, I think today or yesterday, last week, who knows, about this phone that came out, or that they're coming out with, that it's kind of funny that we're going back, but it's like it's new tech. It's just a simple phone that all it does is call and message. It's very aesthetically pleasing. The problem is it has like a T9 keyboard, and for you youngins, you don't remember that, but that's when I started texting, it was T9 keyboard. And I don't want to go back to that. I like the normal, ASDF QWERTY keyboard. So that's just, I don't know. The problem is if you're somewhere out in town and you want to eat or you want to get coffee, like it's kind of inconvenient to have to, what do you do? I mean, because I always am on Google and I look up, bar, coffee shop, Mexican restaurant, Indian restaurant, whatever. Ethiopian restaurant. Although Ethiopian restaurants, to me, all they serve is slop. That's all you got is slop. But it's killing me. I don't want to. There's a syndrome where you think that you have it worse than most people. A lot of people have that these days. Probably always. But I feel like I get a little bit more notifications than most people, being that I'm a business owner, and then I've got an Airbnb, and I got some other shit going on. Help some people out with their businesses, and I got a pretty good amount of friends and Instagram friends and all that. Very popular guy, this one. So I don't know. I feel like and DMs and texts that are personal kind of cover a very small amount of the notifications I get. But we use Slack at Chase Bays, and it kind of just blows up all day. And I got all these emails, and then I've got all these Airbnb messages, and it's really wearing on me, and I really don't know what to do. I feel like I've tried everything. I complain about it on my story sometimes, and people are like, just turn off your notifications. No. Because at this point, if I turned on notifications, I would go out of business. So don't fucking suggest something like that to me ever again, okay? You're done. You're done. How fucking dare you talk like that to me? And I'm looking at notifications right now. But I don't know. If anybody has any suggestions, I'd love to hear it. But you probably don't have it as bad as me, because I have that syndrome where I think I have it worse. And I built this life for myself. You make your own bed, but it just, it's hard to deal with. I feel like it's, maybe it's all just kind of coming to where everything is a notification. Just everything. I mean, turn on push notifications for this and for that and for this and for that. Everything just wants to notify you of everything. And then we're just kind of connected to its wrath. And I wonder to myself sometimes alone at night if we could just separate, what would happen? What would happen if I told my staff and my friends and everybody that I could only be reached via phone call? Or that I could only be reached at a couple hours per the day. And I feel like I'd have to make an excuse for Airbnb, or I'd have to make a pass for Airbnb, because somebody will message me at like 3 that they need a place to stay that night. And if I don't reply to them instantly, they'll book somewhere else. So I feel like I have to be connected there. It's not really stressful. My place is pretty cool in Birmingham, so I get mostly 5-star reviews, sometimes 4.9 star reviews. But actually the first guest that I had was a 3-star review, because he said it smelled like piss. And turns out he pissed himself and he didn't know it. He's senile. He's an old guy. He actually pissed himself, and he was like, I can't believe this place smells like pee. And, he was from Europe, and he was a time traveler just like myself. He came from a very long time ago, but he pissed himself. And he complained about it in the review. He gave me a 3-star review. It fucking sucked. And that happens all the time. People are always leaving bad reviews for shit that's their fault. I think that most bad reviews are the person who's reviewing, it's their fault. And you can read through it sometimes. You'll get on Amazon, you'll be buying gummy bears, and then they'll be like, I thought these were real bears, and these little gummies just showed up. What the fuck is this? I thought I was getting a pack of 20 bears. Dude, fuck you. They leave a 1-star. If I could leave less than a 1-star review, I would. You can't, so don't. You can't, so don't. Okay? God damn. That actually has a different meaning now, because my father, we're estranged now, and I don't like him. I'm not a big fan of him at all. I'll probably never talk to him ever again. So stunned like my daddy means that he vandalizes my truck and trailer and tries to steal my Tesla. That's what that means. So please, Chase, you gotta help me. Help me. Oh my God. That was me. And I need help. Hang on. Please, Chase, you gotta help me. Help me. Good God, are you okay, buddy? I forgot what my name was. What was Sideways Chase's name? That's definitely him. I think something's going on with him. I haven't forgotten about this. I feel like a lot of you reached out to me just wondering what's going on. I mean, this is completely real. I did not record that. And fuck, hang on. I just kind of need a minute. Not to process that, but just to drink this whiskey. I don't know what's going on with him. I guess he's in trouble. I don't know. I'm trying really hard to reach him. I'm doing different things where I'm trying to figure out if I can lucid dream my way to him. I haven't been able to access it. I just have dreams that, I'm getting shot and stabbed a bunch. That's pretty much the only lucid dreams I'm having. As I talked about in the last one, I'm getting shot in the shoulder. I'm getting stabbed. And, I'm not reaching Sideways Chase. But, I hope everything's okay with him. Obviously, something's going on. I could honestly give a fuck about him. But he seems like a nice guy, as I said before. Let me just check a couple notifications. See, this is what I'm talking about. I feel like I have to be plugged in all the time. I've got this thing. I pick up my phone. The only times that I don't pick up my phone all the time is when I'm sleeping, when I'm podcasting, or when I'm in a float tank, which is like this sensory deprivation chamber, which is an extreme medieval term. but it's basically this room where you get this big salt, kind of like a salt bath looking thing. It's like 8x8. You lay in it. All the lights are off. There's no sound. There's no nothing. There's stuff in the wall. There's sound deadening in the walls. Like, so for 60 to 90 minutes, all your senses are cut off, and so the temperature of the water kind of matches it. Whatever. It just all feels the same. So your body kind of disconnects with your brain, your ears, and your sight, and all that stuff. You just lay still. And usually, I don't know anybody if you guys meditate. Meditating is pretty tough for me because I have a shitty body. I got a really shitty body, and so when I sit down, my butt starts hurting or my shoulders feeling natural. And so when you're laying down in this salt tub, it's you're just completely relaxed. And so I don't know. I just feel like I feel so connected to my phone, and I feel like I just can't break free. Like we're all in like notification jail. And then there's even like I'll like close out my emails on my computer, and then like it'll pop back up. Like I'll exit and it'll pop right back up. It'll be like, hey, another email. Like the whole window. And so I have to like close out of it, but then I close out of it and I check it, 2 hours later, and I got all these emails that really needed to be handled that day. So all these orders don't go, all these like we'll do purchasing, and all these POs that we did, they won't go out because they didn't get, we had to raise the limit on our credit card, or somebody, and one of my staff members had a question that, and an order didn't go out that day. And so it just feels like if I truly was just like, guys, I'm done. I can't handle it anymore. My mental well-being is more important than, whatever, that my life would just kind of cave in. And I think that about a lot of people. Like we're so used to being just so connected to everything that's the expectation now. Like if you don't get a response for like 24 hours, which is me pretty much all the time, like really, I mean, I won't respond to personal stuff, but like once a day, sometimes every other day. Because I just put so much priority on all the business and the stuff that makes me money. But if you don't, for the most part, like if you don't respond to like a family member or a friend or whatever, like they think something's wrong, they call the cops on you, and they think that you've died. And that's happened to me a lot. The cops have showed up at my house probably 80 or 90 times, and like, hey, just making sure, is this Chase's house? I'm like, yeah, what's up, man? And then I'm like hiding all the drugs and stuff and all my guns and all that kind of stuff. And then, I open the door and I act like everything's cool. I'm like, hey man, what's up? Just hanging out, man. And he's like, I didn't ask anything. And I'm like, oh, right. Yeah, it's me, Chase. And he's like, okay. And I'm like, what do you want? Nothing going on here. And then, he's like, we just want to make sure you're alive, dude. Your family's concerned. They haven't heard from you for 2 hours, which is abnormal, and they just want to make sure you're still alive. And I'm like, well, clearly I am. Come on, man. And he's like, can I come inside for a cup of tea, dude? And then I'm like, that's okay. And I slam the door on him. And I really like cops. I really do. I think that most of them are good guys. And so, but I got a lot of bad stuff going on in here. I'm doing a lot of illegal things, and so I don't want them to come in. And so that kind of shit happens to me all the time, where I disconnect from my phone and I float, or I do a podcast or whatever, and that shit happens. Actually, like two of the podcasts got interrupted by phone calls, and I'm sitting here having to with one hand I'm replying to Slack messages, which is what we use on for business and stuff like that. It's like an intercompany or like an internal messaging thing that's just for like your company. And so, like, if you use like iMessage or WeChat or whatever, like you get distracted with other people's messages. So it's a way that you can kind of centralize all, just company messages. And so you have like a team message, and then you have like individual messages, and you can like make separate ones for like tech. Dude, I wish that Slack was a sponsor of mine, because this was a great ad for them. If it was an ad, I'd probably like cuss a lot more and like yell at you and like make you download it. But right now it's not a sponsor, so I'm taking the more passive approach, where I'm just kind of just telling you about it, because it's a good thing. So I can't believe how much I'm rambling. I haven't even had a coffee today, but I just kind of get excited to talk. There's this meme that says, I don't know what it says. But it says something, and it has something to do with basically that you can either podcast or get therapy. And I chose podcasting. And the only thing that kind of bums me out about this is that it's hard to get, somebody to sit next to me and talk to me. And that's kind of always been the thing with me. I experienced it for the first time when I was probably, I believe, third grade. And I just wanted to sit with somebody at lunch and they wouldn't sit with me. And it's pretty much been the same since. All the people that are around me, I have to pay. I have to pay them to hang out with me. So, and I'm just kidding, but it's hard because like my schedule is like all over the place, and then sometimes like any of my friends that like would like to be on the podcast, like they're not free the nights that I'm free, so it's tough. And it's not that serious yet. I know that there's celebrities and comedians and stuff that have podcasts, and then it actually makes them a shitload of money. I'm not sure. I've seen some numbers of what sponsors are paying, and sometimes it's a lot. I mean, sometimes they're paying $2,000 and $3,000 for like a 2-minute advertisement for like boner pills or like BetterHelp.com or maybe Slack for me one day. But yeah, all these companies are sponsoring a lot of podcasts. Dumb fucking wallets. I hear a lot of Postmates ads, and so yeah, I mean, somebody could sit down and have a podcast if they have like a lot of viewers, and they'll make $8,000 just for sitting down for an hour. And of course there's a lot of like posts, it's not just an hour. There's a lot of like pre-planning and post editing and all that stuff, and then promotion and all that. But yeah, so it's hard because I think that a lot of guests on these well-known podcasts, I don't guess, I know that they're getting paid. I mean, they're like, even though they're promoting something, like they get paid. And so, it's hard. I don't have like a shitload of money. I've got a lot, but I don't have a shitload of money to where I can pay somebody to sit in this chair. Like even my pug's belled, and they don't do shit, like, come on. Like, don't you wish you were a little puppy? Like you just get fed all day and you get little CBD treats. And then you just get to like lay in bed all day, and then they still complain all the time. Like pretty soon, I think that they're going to come in here and start complaining to me, and fuck them. I do love it. And back to notifications. So I feel like I just keep getting on side tangents, but that's what this is. This is just a big side tangent, and so it's a back, side tangent, front, back, side to side. It is what it is. But I don't know. This conversation would be. This conversation challenges me because it's tough. I mean, really, if I can't separate, I just have to deal with it. I have to be more grateful of everything that I have, and I have to be, and I have a problem with that. But I need to be. I've tried everything. If I did separate, I do feel like my life would kind of collapse in on itself because my staff wouldn't get their questions answered. The cops would be called because the people, hadn't heard from me for 5 minutes. So I don't know. And if I reverted to just all phone calls, like I'd just be on the phone all day. And I really don't like, I like talking on the phone, but I also don't like talking on the phone because it's harder for me to multitask. I was on the phone with a friend last night, and I was cooking some food, and I fucked the recipe up because I was focused on the phone call. I'm not good at focusing on two things at once. Like if I'm looking at something, I can't hear something. I mean, so I just feel like I'd be on the phone all day. And really, phone calls are sometimes worthless because sometimes you'll like talk to somebody, and you'll talk to somebody. And you'll like make all these plans and stuff. And then the last minute, and I know y'all relate to this, the last minute you're on the phone, and then it's kind of like that awkward like goodbye. I don't know why saying goodbye is so fucking awkward. or just like uncomfortable. It's hard to just be like, okay, great phone call. I'll talk to you soon. The ball's in your court. You're supposed to contact me next. Okay, thank you. Goodbye. Because the last minute of a phone call will absolutely wreck the last hour, because you're just saying like these kind of like standard like niceties, like, okay, cool, we'll circle back. And then like the last hour was talking about how like, we're talking about a new project, and, and it's basically like, all right, here's like somebody's talking to me, like, here's how I work, blah, 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 blah. And then I'm like, all right, cool. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of work on some ideas, and then I'm going to send you these ideas. And they're like, all right, cool. Well, this was, good talking to you. This is them. This is good talking to you, whatever. Like, just, reach out to me in the next 2 or 3 days. And it's like, okay, cool. All right, well, take care. I'll talk to you soon. And then they're like, all right, cool. Well, we'll circle back. And I'm like, all right, cool. We'll circle back. And then they're like, all right, we'll talk to you soon. And then they're like, all right, we'll talk to you in a bit, which is like leaves it in there. Like, okay, cool. We'll reach out to you. And like all these like standard things. And then you're just like, bye. And then you both say bye at the same time. And you're like, wait, what? And then he's, oh, no, I was just saying bye. And you're like, okay, cool, bye. And then you say bye at the same time again. You're like, oh, and then it's on me now. And I'm like, what? And he's like, no, I was just saying bye. And he's like, anyways, I'll reach out. Like, my people will be in touch with your people. I'm like, no, I don't have any people. And he's like, yeah, you do. And I'm like, oh yeah, I do have people now. And then I'll be like, okay, cool. Well, I think that the ball's in my, bye. And then I'll just hang up, because I feel so fucking awkward that I can't talk anymore. And then we'll both just like be looking at our phones that are just, blank screens, like a black mirror, looking at it, and we'll be like, what the fuck just happened? We just talked for an hour, and it was beautiful. We had a great conversation, and we got so much done, and the creativity was flowing. And then that's it. It's gone now. And yeah, and so yeah, phones are a problem because of that. What am I talking about? But I experience that just about every day. Shit, I don't know. Everything's just a meme. I mean, really, all this stuff going on with like Epstein and then Trump buying Greenland or whatever, which is pretty funny, because honestly, he posted a picture and he said, this is what he said, I won't do this. And it showed the Trump Tower in like the middle of Greenland. That was pretty funny. What is this? I'm sure he has like a digital staff, like some sort of Photoshop staff or something, Photoshop Illustrator, where they just, where he has these crazy ideas and like, all right. And then they do it. That had to be fun. Like, they're probably like, God, I can't believe I work for this guy, but fuck, I make a lot of money and I got a lot of power. And then they're like, I don't know what I'm saying. This isn't important. Yeah, they're just, they Photoshop it and he goes, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. I don't have a good Trump impression. It's beautiful. Nope, don't got it. It's a beautiful. That's Trump. There we go. It's a beautiful. We're going to buy Greenland, and we're going to not put the Trump Tower there. We're just going to use it for the land and the resources, and we're going to do such a good job at basically turning that country around, because basically right now Denmark owns it, and they don't want it anymore because they're losing $700 million every single month, and that is not good for them, and we love Denmark, and basically I'm not going to put the Trump Tower in it. Thank you, that's huge, and build the wall. Thank you very much. And that's my best Trump impression. So that's Donald Trump. You know him. You heard him. I don't know why he's our president, but whatever, dude. It is what it is. He's gonna be out of there soon. We're gonna vote for some new people. Whatever. But here's the problem: is that there's this internet culture, and they're basically like, it's good. It really is good. But there's a top. Let me finish these thoughts. So it's good that there's this culture on the internet that makes a joke of everything, because that's what we need, because we've kind of lost that traction a little bit, because I kind of live in a place where I'm always offending people. Like, anytime I've ever gone on a date ever, I've offended them. And, and I call them, a bitch and a dumb idiot, but it's like, I'm kidding. You know what I mean? And I'm kidding about that. I'm kidding about kidding. So like, I don't say that to girls. Okay, calm down. But there's something that I say that offends them, and it's just because like everything's so light to me, and everything like, if you're listening to this and you're still listening, 26 minutes in or whatever, 24, I don't know, I can't even fucking count. Like, I bounce back and forth between serious and not serious like like that. And I don't know what that's like to be around. When I'm around people that are like that, like sometimes I get lost and I'm like, are they serious or are they not? And most of the shit that I say is bullshit. Like I pissed off a bartender the other day because I was like, hey, I was going to call earlier because I was going to meet, I met somebody there to write some like sketch comedy stuff. And then I was like, I just didn't know if y'all opened at 3 because on Google it said 3, Facebook it said 4, and Yelp says 6. And he's like, oh, fuck, my bad, dude. And I was like, I mean, you just never know, dude. Like, we could be from Entourage and we wanted to film a new episode of Entourage. And we, and we want to do it here, and then we don't know what's going on. And I emailed both your emails, and, you didn't reply, and it came back as Mailer Demon. Whoever Mailer Demon is, he's the fastest responder in all the land. As soon as I send an email, Mailer Demon responds, and he's like, "Yo, this email isn't around anymore." And then I'm like, "Damn, dude, you're on it." So shout out to Mailer Demon, dude. He's a fast responder, dude, and that dude's got to have like notification overload, like a son of a bitch. Yeah. So yeah, that bartender got really pissed at me. Like I could just tell that his mood died because he was like, "Wait, are you from Entourage?" Like he got all excited, and I go, "No, dude." And then I like which is kind of like a dick response in my and like that I was like, "Dude, you're ridiculous for thinking that." And then he was kind of like, we like had like a whatever. We had like some cool kind of vibes in between, and he made a great old fashioned, but the vibe kind of died there. And so I'm too expressive and I'm too, whatever. So like if he said that to me, I wouldn't find offense to it. And so maybe my skin's too thick, you know what I mean? Maybe it's too fucking thick, and maybe I need to thin my skin out a little bit and maybe like let people offend me more so that I can kind of understand. But yeah, every date that I've ever been on has ended up in them getting pissed at me. And so that's why, I am where I am, just fucking alone in the world, fucking 31, dude, fucking, right here in this fucking chair. There's nobody there. But I love my life. Everything's fine. Everything's good. Nothing's going wrong in my life. But the whole point to this fucking ridiculous tangent, I have no idea what I'm saying, is that, okay, here's the problem. Let's get serious. So it's great to find that everything is kind of a joke and could kind of like see the softer side of things. But the problem is that we don't take things seriously that need to be taken seriously. And I feel like that's why Trump got elected and why a lot of shit's like going kind of bad right now. And you know what? I regret just saying that because things are actually fucking great right now. And despite like our president and all this other shit, like things are pretty great because 100 years ago, you and me would be like, yo, let's skip town. Let's go to Vegas. This is before Vegas. I don't think there was a Vegas 100 years ago, but maybe. Let's just say that there was. There was a couple casinos, there was some fun gambling going on. We're like, let's go, dude, let's go. And so we get in our horse and carriage. It's 2019. Yeah, we'd probably still horse and carriage. So 1919, dude, me and you, we jump in the horse and carriage, and I'm like, yo, I have a horse. And then you're like, yo, I have a horse as well also. Additionally to what you said about having a horse, I also have a horse. And then I'm like, well, dude, my dad has a carriage. And that's totally not accurate for what would really happen because my dad has nothing. So let's just turn this around and say that your dad has a carriage. And so I'm like, dude, awesome. So let's get your horse and my horse and then the carriage. And then let's just go to Vegas, dude. Let's gamble. We're going to bring $5, dude. I hope I don't lose it all because that's all I have. That's my life savings is just $5, which is like the equivalent now of probably 5 million. And so dude, in 1919, I was fucking rich, dude, because I had $5. But so we'd go to Vegas, dude, and then we'd get to we're going from Los Angeles, and so we're traveling, we're going through the desert, and every fucking thing's a desert at that point. And there's a couple buildings, but dude, fuck you, and so you get to Barstow, and you're like, hell yeah, dude, we made it basically halfway, dude. It's been a month, we're almost there. And then you keep going, and you're like, dude, this is so exciting. And then you're halfway from Barstow to Vegas, and then a fucking coyote jumps into the carriage and it mauls you to death. You get ripped to shreds, dude. And I watch it happen, and there's nothing I can do because I don't have a knife. because it fell out of the carriage because the carriage was so fucking bumpy. And you get ripped to shreds. And I'm just watching what's going on, dude. This coyote's ripping you to shreds. And I'm like, no, stop. And what do I do? What do I do at that point? You die. You know what I mean? And I watch it happen. It takes so long. And then so you're dead. And then I kick you out of the fucking carriage, and I kick the coyote out, and then he, feasts on your body, and then him and all his coyote buddies come up and start eating you. And then I just keep going. And that's what used to happen. And if it wasn't that, then, what are y'all doing? Yo, stop. I'm talking to my dogs. Y'all need to chill out. And if it wasn't that, then, we'd get robbed. These dudes would come up, these John Wayne type characters. They'd like come up and they'd be like, you ain't from around here, boy. And it's like, yeah, obviously, dude. We're from Los Angeles, dude. It's the fucking Golden Coast, dude. We're fucking killing, dude. I got $5. And I'm like fucking bragging. And he's like, you got $5, motherfucker. And he stabs the fuck out of me. And he stabs me so many times, probably 38 times. And then, so you watch me die. You watch me get stabbed to death, and you're like, oh. And then they're like, you're next, boy. And then you're like, I don't have any money. Yeah, I don't have anything. This dude was a rich guy. You pick the right one to kill, dude. Take his $5 and then go. And that's it, dude. And then you go on to Vegas, and then you gamble. You're nothing. You have no money, dude, because you don't have me anymore, and they robbed you, dude. So you're in Vegas for no fucking reason. You're stuck there forever, and you're probably still there in 2019. You probably opened up, Harrah's or something. I don't know. And so that was, that's 100 years ago for you. And so for people to complain about now, to be like, things are so bad, blah, 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 whatever. Yeah, go fuck yourself, okay? Go fuck yourself, because if me and you went to fucking Vegas from Los Angeles 100 years ago, you'd have died. You'd have died, right? And that's a word. You'd have died, okay? So I'm sick of this, dude. Don't fucking tell me that it's fucking terrible right now. Go fuck yourself. You'd have died. Go fuck yourself. And, but that doesn't mean we can't stop fighting for some good stuff, and we're at a good time where we can make things really fucking good. You know what I mean? Like if you do something bad, you're going to get caught. If you stab me 38 times, you're going to get caught. You know what I mean? The forensics are going to get you. And so we live in a good time, but I do think that we're not utilizing the current time to the best of our advantage. And I think that it's just because everything's a meme and everything's like funny or whatever. And so like there's this Epstein shit going on, and then it just turns into like comedy for Instagram, And then the people that like are the people that are passionate about like, oh, we need to make a change, whatever, like they kind of abuse that power and they turn it into something bad, you know what I mean? Because then they like they're still kind of fueled by negativity. Like even though it's something good, they're still like fueled by negativity, and so it kind of it just kind of goes into a bad direction, because then you like start preaching to them. You're like, I can't believe this is going on. Blah, blah, blah. Like they hate Trump so much that like if there's hate involved, it's negativity, and that's not going to read well with a lot of people who are like undecided. And a lot of people root for the underdog. So at this point, like anybody who's like unsure about Trump because they don't know what to believe, or anybody like the Epstein thing and the Clintons like kind of like getting called out for all this shit. And if you don't know what's going on, Vox has a really good article that's I find to be very unbiased about like the Clinton and Trump's involvement in the Epstein case, and you can take with it what you want. He was just a powerful guy, and so like he crossed paths with like a lot of like important people, but that doesn't mean that they went to his island to fuck these little kids, and maybe they did, maybe they didn't. I really don't know. I definitely think there was some like foul play going on. And then it's so hard to read what's really going on. I really don't have an opinion, but it's like really bad, and really like the people that are just kind of involved with somebody like that, I don't think they should be in power. And so let's do our best during the 2020 election. Yeah. Check out Tulsi Gabbard. I'm really enjoying her. She's getting shamed because people are saying she's too attractive, like we talked about last time. But yeah, so nothing seems real to people. Everything's just like this facade of the internet. There's all this like fake news, and if you read one thing, it's pulled the other direction. So like, we're really not utilizing our power in the best way that we can. And that's on you, and that's on me. So fucking do better. And that's kind of my saying, is to fucking do better. And and I need to do better. Hang on a minute. All right, I just I thought a ghost walked in. Yeah, dude, I'm just in a weird place right now, and we're all in a weird place. Like, I just feel like, I used to be so passionate about Chase Bays, and I still am, and I love my staff, and that's, I don't know. I just feel like my job used to be so much fun. And even when shit was bad and I was really broke, starting out the first few years, it was still fun. And it's easy, and it's easy to remember that the past was more fun than it was, because if you're in that moment, you're still kind of tormented. But when you look back on it, we generally remember the good stuff more than the bad stuff. But the passion was there. I got so excited to talk about it and all this stuff. And it's hard for me right now because most of my job is just answering questions and solving problems. And all the problems that we run into are very much problems that I've had over and over and over. And so it's not new problems. And of course no one wants problems, but solving problems is part of what is part of what kind of keeps you going. And personally, we all have very different personalities, but personally I work better in chaotic environments. And if I don't have that chaos, I really just don't want to do anything. And so I still live in that. I still have chaos. So I still get out of bed and go to work and all that shit. But it's the same chaos, And so I don't really know what to do. I don't know if I should just be more content in the fact that things are going pretty good. It's crazy. It's really crazy that we as humans just have trouble being grateful. It goes back to the same thing that as people saying that oh, things are so bad now. It's no, dude, be fucking grateful for how much power we have. And we have new problems. We have notification overload, but I'm not getting stabbed 38 times, and I'm happy about that. And you're not getting ripped to shreds by a coyote just because we wanted to go play some chess in Vegas, So, fuck. What does it all mean? Who fucking knows? I don't. That's why we're on this. We're gonna figure it out on this podcast, I hope. Fuck. I put my fucking whiskey right there. You can't see if you're listening, but I put my whiskey right there, and there's fucking water, dude. It's fucking condensation, dude. That's the fucking problem with America. Condensation, dude. We need to get rid of that shit. Fuck Trump, dude. He hasn't banned condensation. Fuck him, dude. If we would have voted for Hillary, she would have banned condensation while Bill Clinton went to Epstein's Island and fucked everybody, including 14-year-olds. Yeah, damn it. Shit, man. Here's the problem. Is that if I ever get famous, I think I said this last time. I don't know, man. I say so much shit on these things that I don't even know what I say, so I might repeat myself sometimes. But I just say so much shit that I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna get in trouble for it. So I need to be careful. But you know what? I'm unapologetic, so fuck you. I'm not gonna do anything differently. So yeah, man, be careful. Don't think. I think that a lot of people's coping mechanism is to just kind of make things a joke, but you have to be serious too. But not too serious, because then you come off preachy. You need to find the middle ground between I'll joke about this to cope with it, but I'll also try to do something about it, or not support people that are doing bad things, or that I hear about bad things. But you know what? At the same time, all these people are getting in trouble for old tweets and for shit that people said they did that they didn't. So who fucking knows? I don't know, man. Don't give a fuck. Just do what you want to do. I feel like I played both sides. I was on this side and I was on that side. But you know what? Just do your thing. Whenever these elections roll around, federal or state or county, whatever city, do your due diligence, do some crunch research, try to go from an unbiased source and vote these people into power. I'm from Alabama, and there's a lot of old shitty dudes and women in power, and they're voting, to ban abortion. Dude, fuck you. I want to have an abortion. I'm going to get an abortion, okay? And that's one of my favorite things to do. And that's America's greatest pastime is abortions. So don't fucking ban abortions, okay? If you want to kill a baby, kill a baby. You know? And you know, and I totally agree with like some people are taking it too far, and it's just because they have opposition, so they're going to take it too far. But they're like, oh, at 8 months, it's cool to kill a baby. Okay, if you haven't made your decision by 8 months, one, you shouldn't be pregnant. Two, you know, I don't even know how you get to work in the morning. But, you know, don't kill a baby at 8 months. Come on, or 7 months, or whatever. Like, you got to make that decision. Like, if you miss your period and you take a test and you see that you're pregnant, like, you got to make a decision, okay? Get with a consultant, you know, hit me up. I'll help you make the decision. And I'm a very unbiased person. You know, I obviously play both sides in the middle, and I'm like, whatever, but also this and also that. And like, I'm just going to contradict myself for an hour. But, you know, I'll give you good advice, okay? So if you got pregnant and you're listening to this and, you know, you're 6 weeks in and you're not sure what to do, dude, slide in the DMs. You know, I won't hit on you. You know, I don't have any like pregnant girl fetishes. I don't have any fetishes actually, dude. I'm just fucking plain, dude. I don't give a fuck about anything. I don't even want to date ever again. So, you know, just slide in my DMs. We'll help you out, dude. I won't charge you anything, but just don't kill a baby at 7 or 8 months. Like, that's kind of ridiculous. Like, no one's that indecisive. Okay. Like, you got to run through scenarios where you're like, okay, here's what could happen, right? This motherfucker got me pregnant, and I'm out at the club, and I had a good time. You know, I went to the club, and I had a good time, but, you know. So, you know, I was starting like my daddy a little bit, and I was fucking, you know, and, you know, I got pregnant, you know. So you got to make the assessment faster. I don't even care about this, you know. Like, the whole point to this is that you just need to just calm down and talk more, but talk less. But don't talk too much, but don't talk too less either, you know. And I expect you to find whatever you want to find in that, because you're going to anyways, you know. And you know, my ex cheated on me with this dude, and you know, now I'm good friends with him. So, you know, and it's crazy to find out that you're like, your ex cheats on you, and you know, did she cheat on me? I don't know. But that's what somebody told me, you know. Is it real news? Is it fake news? Is somebody trying to sabotage me so they can fuck her? I don't fucking know. But apparently she cheated on me with this dude, and I find him to be really funny, you know. He's doing pretty well. And I saw him posted on his stories, dude, and he was funny. So this is where, you know, the therapy comes out. You know, what am I talking about? I don't know, dude. Fuck, man. Let's see what else we got here. Chase, you got to stop fucking with this. You got to stop fucking with this. I know you're curious to see what's going on, but you don't want to end up like me. Just leave it alone. Leave it alone. Oh my God. So if you're just listening, like, I just realized that I was like talking way too much and I was not making any sense. And that doesn't matter, because as long as it's like kind of entertaining, that's okay. So, you know, if you haven't watched this, basically all the microphone and my headphones and everything, it gets recorded via this like Rode podcaster thingy, and it's got some buttons on it. You know, it's got these color buttons, and so there's like pre-recorded things on here. When I first got it and I pressed them, they were like crowd applauding and like crickets and stuff, which is like, dude, come on, grow up. And then so I was just like, whatever, you know, and I didn't really pay attention to it. But then I pressed one and then it changed, and it was Sideways Chase talking to me, talking about like his sixth love language or whatever. And then today we were just joking around, having a good time. And then I pressed one, and this like Sideways Chase, who I forgot his name. I'll have to go back and listen. But like he was like asking for help. And I just pressed this other one, and he's yelling at me for like fucking with the Sideways, you know? And like, I'm just trying to figure it out. You know, I'm just a curious guy, and we're all searching for like a greater meaning, and we're all just drinking a bunch of whiskeys and tequilas. And we're just trying to figure it out, you know? Let's just listen to it again. Chase, you got to stop fucking with this. You got to stop fucking with this. I know you're curious to see what's going on, but you don't want to end up like me. Just leave it alone. Leave it alone. And I wonder, man, so he's obviously like in a lot of pain. And like, I wonder if he's being tortured, but like, I wonder, like, I don't know what's going on, but like, I think that he's like I think that he's sending me these messages, and I don't know the chronological order of what he's doing, like, because there was that one where he's like crying, dude, and I'm worried about him, and I feel like he's being tortured, but like I also don't give a fuck, and like I got my own shit to worry about, but I do want to contact him just to like see what's going on, dude, because I don't know, like maybe their like reality is more elevated, and obviously they are, because he can see what's going on with me, and you know, I don't know, man, I'm just so confused, and I just want to apologize to everybody because, like, you know, I make a point, but then I unmake a point. And then, like, I want to do something, but then I don't want to do something. And that's just like a metaphor for life, you know, is that we're always changing our mind and we're always doing shit different. And then everybody's like holding us accountable for all these like decisions that we had like 10 years ago. And then, like, of course we change our mind because that's what we do. And so, like, within a minute, I'm like, do I even agree with myself? Like, I don't know. Like, I listened to the 4th podcast the other day and I was like, I don't know. What am I talking about? And do I even agree with myself? I don't know. I just say shit. And sometimes it clicks and sometimes it doesn't. And I also, I feel like, let's be serious for a minute. I feel like my objective of this podcast is just kind of like bullshit, like just to make people laugh. And so like, I like disagree with myself to be funny, but I do have like a strong set of values that I believe in. But I'm going to shut up about that because I'm just like digging myself a deeper hole. And yeah. So I'm going to click on, let's just see one more of these things. And also, I'm setting up a phone line. How old am I? I'm setting up a phone line for you, boy. I like that. That was like an old grandmother that was kind of like modernized. You know, Chase, we're setting you up a landline so you can, you know, leave us a voicemail, boy. Oh, man. Actually, my grandmother's a lot like that. She's very modernized, but she's got that old voice. And I hope she's listening. Let's listen to one more of these. But okay, let me get... How ADD am I? Why are you even still listening to me? Yeah. So I want to set up a phone line where you guys can like leave me voicemails, and I want to see if you guys can leave me like video texts. It's not my cell phone, but it's like a little app that you can do stuff to. And I'll set up a number and whatever. But I want you guys to be able to send me like voicemails or like audio recordings and like, you know, ask me shit or talk about shit or like, you know, maybe we can help each other. I don't know. And then maybe you can be like me and you can be like, well, this, and then, well, no, this, and then this, and then this. And then you can just kind of confuse yourself. And then you get to the end of it and you're like, I don't even know what I believe anymore. And so I hope that I can help you guys with that because that's, you know, either way, it's kind of like gratifying in a way, just to play both sides of the field and be unbiased and like care and then not care and then care and then not care. And then, I don't know. Let's push this button. You know when you hear like just a snippet of a song and you want to hear more? So I didn't even know that Dixie Chicks did a cover of Landslide. But I was going through a lot of shit like 2 weeks ago. And then one of my, Dustin, who's on my on Chase Bay staff, he said something. And you know, we were talking about my truck sliding down the hill and crashing into the woods. And my dad did that, just so you know, on purpose. So he did that, and then we were like, and then Dustin was like something Landslide, and I was like, that's a good fucking song, dude. And I looked it up, and there's like 80 covers, and I actually like the Japanese House makes the best cover, and to me it's better than Fleetwood Mac, and like, you know, whatever, unpopular opinion, go fuck yourself. But yeah, I found the Dixie Chicks, and I found it to be so humorous, and so I posted a bunch of stuff on my story about the Dixie Chicks, and I even went to karaoke and sang it, dude, and everybody was pissed off, and they stopped the song. And this was on my story. And if you didn't see it, then, you know, DM me and I'll send it to you. So halfway through the song, Landslide by the Dixie Chicks, they stopped it. And they said, did you mean to pick the Dixie Chicks the Dixie Chicks version? And I was like, yeah, I know. I'm blowing it. I'm just going through a lot right now. That's what I said. And then it started playing again. And I was like, guys, and I'm so sorry about this. And then everyone was pretty pissed though. And you know what? Here's the thing though. I'm unapologetic about that because I was having a good time. My friends were having a good time. And whatever, dude, if you can't fucking get down with the Dixie Chicks Landslide, then I don't know what to tell you. And if you follow me on Spotify, like not this podcast, but if you follow like my Spotify like music profile, then you'll see that I made a playlist and it's just Landslide like 100 times. And then at the end, I put the Japanese house version. And there was even a Glee version that I enjoyed. It was Gwyneth Paltrow and that whatever that main character girl was. God, I can't remember her name. She's a good singer though. But yeah, Gwyneth Paltrow and her did a cover on Glee of Landslide, and that version was good too. So yeah, Fleet Mac is good, whatever. But like the Japanese house did a better job at it, you know? And that's that, dude. And if you want to disagree with me, then that's your prerogative, and we can disagree, and that's okay. We can also still be friends, dude, because we should be able to disagree and then still be friends. You know, it's 2019, dude. I'm not getting stabbed 38 times. You're not getting torn apart by wolves. Like, let's just be fucking grateful. You know, let's go into this next week. Let's be more grateful. You know, I'm always like discontent, and I'm always like seeking the next thing, like this and that, whatever. But like, let's just be grateful, you know, be appreciative. Like, things aren't worse now. Things are better now. You can have a podcast and just talk for 52 minutes about nothing. And I don't know if I'm proud of this one because I feel like I just kind of bounced around a lot, and maybe that's why you're listening. So, you know, maybe that's why you're listening, dude.
Well, maybe.
That's why you're listening.
Well, maybe.
That's why you're listening. Maybe that's why you're listening. And what's crazy about the end of the Dixie Chick song is for about the last minute, that's all they say. They say, well, maybe. Yeah. So now you understand why people were so upset at the karaoke lounge, is because I am terrible. Terrible. I hope you're watching this on YouTube because it's pretty funny. At least I think so. So here's what the next week holds for me. Fuck, man. I fuck with shit too much. I just made the microphone fall. So here's what the next week holds for me. So I'm going to take... All right, so here's the deal, man. So here's what I want my life to look like. I love owning Chase Bays. I'm kind of in a rut where I'm like not very passionate about it, but like I feel like that happens like pretty often with me. I've been doing it for nearly 14 years. So it's cool. It's going to happen. We'll get over it. But I want to be doing more things. We've talked about it. The first episode I talked about like I was kind of like trying to reinvent myself, like doing shit like this. And I'm writing. Here's what I'm gonna do. So I'm gonna start taking improv classes. I feel like I'm pretty good on my own, and it's kind of weird because I've always been self-taught. Like I didn't go to business school. I didn't like take a drifting class, like a road racing class. Like all these things that I do, I've always been self-taught. But what's funny, and by funny I mean weird, is like what's weird, funny is that. It seems like if you want to be taken, like I want to be writing, like I'm writing a script and I want to be like a director and stuff. And it can be a hobby, you know, like I said in the first one, like it can just be a hobby. And if I make it cool, if I don't, that's cool too. Like this is my hobby. But I want to write a script. It'd be cool if it got picked up by like a big program or whatever. But it seems like if you want to do like writing or like comedy or like any like writing with comedy in it, it seems like you have to do like improv or stand up to be like really taken seriously. I was reading like about like people who got on SNL, and they all like I don't think anybody's gotten into SNL without taking these like improv classes. And there's so many in New York, like UCB or like Comedy Cellar. There's so many in New York, but I'm just going to have to do it. So I'm going to do stand up. I'm going to start doing like open mics and stand up and stuff. And like, I'll film it and I'll put it on my Instagram, and maybe I bomb, dude, but I don't really give a fuck, you know? So if I do a terrible job, like good, you know, like good, because I think that that's entertaining. I'll record it and I'll post up the entire bomb. It'll be awesome. And I think that's cool, you know, like I still care what people think, but at the same time, like, dude, I'm 31. Like I've done a lot of cool shit. Like, dude, fuck you. Like if I bomb, I bomb. I don't care, man. Even if I was young, I wouldn't have cared. You know, I've always been pretty resilient to like negativity and stuff. Like it's like taking its toll on me, but whatever, dude. So yeah, fuck you. I love you. So I'm going to start doing improv classes and stand-up classes and stuff, and we'll see where that takes us. They're quite affordable. It'll be like a cool like networking thing. Like, you know, even if I just learn like one or two things, like it's cool to network, you know, and a lot of like great things like Key and Peele, for instance, have been founded on those sorts of things, is where people, maybe not Key and Peele, but there's like good sketch stuff where they met in like these improv classes. Do you see this fucking table right now? I still haven't called Wayfair to get it fixed. And if you're just listening, this table that holds the mic and the little road thingy, you know,
Well, maybe.
keeps falling. It keeps falling. All right, I've talked far too long. I mean, honestly, like I would listen to this, you know, I would listen to myself rant. Does that make me a narcissist? No, it doesn't. So don't fucking call me a narcissist, because I'm not. All right, I'm done. I love you guys. You just message me if you want to talk about something or if you want to hear about something. I'm going to post the number that you can leave like a video message with. I'm going to post it with the podcast, and then I'm going to put it in the Apple, and I'm going to put the Apple, YouTube, and Spotify. I'm going to put it in the description and stuff. And then so just talk to me. You know, I'm not going to answer like it's just a voicemail thing, but you know, let's just talk. Goodbye, everybody. I'm gonna go.